Reunion. Hello, y'all. I was selling crack on a private jet up in the hell and back. But no confusion, this a reunion. Hello, y'all. Welcome back. Get murder here. He counting money. He said, "Can man, the hell with rap. I'm only here to shit on niggas and piss on bitches. Welcome, ass. I bought jewelry and bikes, nigga. Black Benzes and white Vickers. Now I'm out here and I'm looking for more chandeliers and light fixtures. Nah. I don't like niggas, what's wrong with me? I'm a hype nigga, but this 44 turn to Michael Jordan. I look and say, take flight, nigga.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is. This episode is sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. The app is an easy way to make some cash just by making picks on your favorite players. Underdog is available in more than 30 states, including California, Texas, and New York, just to name a few. Make sure to support the show by hitting the link in the bio and downloading the Underdog Fantasy app. They'll also match your first deposit up to $100, and you get a special pick when you sign up. I'm Treasure Wilson, a.k.a. Stat Baby, along with your hosts, Mase and Cam.
Killer, what's good,
Brother,
man?
what up?
Chilling, man.
What's good, nigga? How you all right?
Yeah. I couldn't
What's
find
up?
my cowboy hat.
I bet you couldn't, nigga. I bet you couldn't. Take my glasses off, man. I bet you couldn't, man.
The cowboy hat's on back order.
I bet they are.
And this would have been the time to test it too, because now we'll never know. You never brought the hat back, so
the cowboy hat was they're in back order. I should have one by tomorrow.
you're a little too late. Okay, so let's just start with the game. Let's get right to it. So the Mavs lost to the Celtics on home court, 106-99. I'm just gonna ask y'all straight up: is this series over? Mase first.
Is this the end? Are you my friend?
Do, 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 do.
Yeah. Oh, man, it's so over for them niggas, man. I mean, it's bad when you lose and people play good. You know what I'm saying? Kyrie had 35. And that game was just I really don't know what to say. I can't believe they came to the finals to get swept. I really can't believe that. I thought with Porzingis out, they would really have a chance. But I mean, you could just look at the box score and it tells it all. You're not going to beat Boston with Jaylen Brown getting 30 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists. It's just, I don't know what else to say to them, man. Man, it's like Kyrie had 35, but he's been a no-show the first 2 games. But I'm glad he listened to me. I'm glad my message made it all the way to Dallas yesterday. But this is horrible. This is hard. If they can win a championship with Barrera, why can't they win a championship with Kyrie? Killer, this just don't make no sense. They won one with, what's his name, with the headband? Oh man, Jason Terry. How can't they win one with Luka? This just don't make no sense. I'm not depressed, but this is horrible. This is horrible. I can't even finish my take. I'm so upset. I'm so disgusted with Dallas, man. Frank Martin got to win this weekend. That's all I'm going to say. I'm so disgusted with Dallas, man. Go ahead, Killer.
I don't even need to go to the box score. I seen the game live, and we could go to the box score and name a bunch of different stats. Jaylen Brown, 30, Jason Tatum, 31. But time after time, again, even though the 2 stars shine the brightest points-wise, this is all key play by the role players.
Yeah.
Derek White hitting threes when he needs to hit a 3. And don't get me wrong, Jaylen Brown had a tremendous second half. His second half was outstanding.
You're right.
But yeah, no, absolutely. This was as much as Kyrie had 35, this was the hardest 35 I ever seen a nigga have to work for. He was still getting his shit punched. They're still altering shots. Matter of fact, that's a box score that I will look at real quick. Because I would like to know. Well, he shot under 50%, 13 for 29. It was a hard 35. He was fighting every possession for it. Dallas looked like they wanted more. And when I looked in, and I've been seeing this, but I didn't want to jump to conclusions until tonight. You could look at it at the player's eyes and just see who wants it more. Pause. Like you could see the backstories behind in the game. You could see Jaylen Brown being tired of I'm tired of not being named All NBA team.
Yeah.
You could see Jason Tatum saying, I'm tired of niggas talking about we don't get the job done. You could see in Drew Holiday, oh, niggas want to trade me like I ain't help niggas win a chip. You could see there and say Al Horford say, it's been 17 years. This is the time. You sit there and say Derek White, and sit there and say, oh, niggas think I ain't shit because I look like I ain't shit. You could see that them niggas want it. They're closing out defensively. They're making stops. If they're not getting stops, they're altering shots. Luka cannot damn near bring the ball up just about when Jaylen Brown is on him. It's just these niggas want it. Now, I thought it was a change in the fourth quarter. They pulled within 3. They was down 21 points in the fourth quarter. They pulled within 3, but Luka fouled out. Luka fouled out with about 4 minutes left, and once he fouled out, I already knew it was a foregone conclusion. Secondly, the way that Boston plays together, they're in sync. They're constantly moving. When they're not moving, even when it's isolation, people are getting in position to shoot just in case they're double teamed. If you watch this, and I never really said nothing about this because it's been working enough to get them to the championship, Kyrie and Luka don't really play together. When Kyrie gets the ball, you can see Luka walk to the other side of the court and say, do your thing. When Luka gets the ball, you see Kyrie walk to the other side of the court and say, do your thing. Now, it's been working great to get them to a championship. But when you're playing against a team that's well-rounded like the Boston Celtics, it's not going to work.
Yeah,
They're
they
playing
saw that
team
tape.
basketball
They saw that tape.
on offense and defense. Like, bro, it's whenever, I mean, I'm not sure what they're going to do to change up next game, but look, shit. I hope they win a game and don't get swept. But shit, at the end of the day, you can see it. Every time Kyrie gets the ball, Luka goes to the other side. It's no motion. They're not moving, and vice versa, the same thing. Lastly, what I'll say is this. Mazzulla been so fucking locked in, bro. His coach, he's out coaching Jason Kidd on a whole nother level. And I don't know if he's getting more out the players than homeboy in Houston. I always pronounce his name wrong. The coach that's in Houston, the coach that's right before him. But you can see the intensity on his face. Not only that, I'm not sure, and this is something that NBA owners and GMs may need to look into in the future. He's only 35 years old. He's closer to these. Al Horford may be older than him. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he is.
So you're looking at somebody who can relate to the players more. It's kind of like when I play, and you too, Mase. So I don't know if we didn't play together at the same time with the organization, but you want to play for Shee Rice. You want to play for Thurm because they get it. You want to play for the Twins of Gaucho. You don't necessarily want to play for Dave Jones because he's going to be yelling and screaming and all that. You want a coach that's going to be like, nigga, let's go, nigga. You got these niggas. And not saying that's Joe Mazzulla's language. You can tell he's on top of every single thing. But because he's younger, and I don't know his personality and what he's about, but they may relate to him, and that's why he's getting the most out of his team right now. You might hire somebody he's talking about it with football with, Bill Belichick, and he's 72 years old. Or you have all the cachet and the awards and maybe one of the greatest coaches of all time, if not the greatest coach, but are they going to respect it? They're not respecting Cam Newton at his own camp. These young niggas don't give a fuck, nigga. They're not. So you got to be able to relate to your players. And I don't know if the age difference, and when I say age difference, I'm talking about a younger age difference, has something to do with it. But it's looking like he's getting more out of this team that anybody else has gotten out of these players since Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum been there. And then to do it without Porzingis today speaks volumes as well.
Yeah. And when
Last
you
night,
and when you get up 21 points without Porzingis, that's just bad coaching. Like you don't let the game get that carried away. I mean, like you said about Kid, I don't know what Kid is thinking, man. He needs to play the Kid Hardy more whenever they were winning. The Kid Hardy need to play more, and I don't know what happened to this team. They just fell apart, but they're getting swept. I don't even think they're getting a game. If they give them a game, it's only to bring it back to Boston. They're getting swept. They might be the first team, not the first team, but the first team in a long time to get swept in the championship. That's just ridiculous.
And
That's
I
just
think that
ridiculous.
Jason Kidd kind of went away from his bread and butter after the first game, thinking that he has to play smaller when that's not working because
Yeah,
throughout the playoffs, you've been playing Lively and Gafford at the same time, to where they were saying, oh, they got the Twin Towers. We haven't seen Gafford in this series because Boston's playing smaller, and Jason Kidd is probably saying, they're exposing us. But that was only one game. After the first game, you kind of took Gafford's minutes away and didn't stick to what was got y'all there. And we haven't really seen a lot of minutes from Gafford. It's been mainly Lively in the game. But when you had Gafford and Lively in the game at the same time, even though it was throughout the Western Conference playoffs and finals, you had success. And right now, you're having zero success with not playing those two at the same time. Now, I know you want to make adjustments and so on and so forth, but the adjustments that you made haven't been working, Jason Kidd.
yeah, and something must be going on in Dallas because it seemed like it was so locked in just a series ago. This is one of those things that later something will come out that something happened. There's no way they supposed to not get a game. I'm serious.
Okay, so from what we've
Wait, wait,
seen,
wait, stat, wait, stat. Why do you have on a green shirt, stat?
this is my favorite color.
Yeah. I don't know why I didn't catch that on the walkout. Stat, yo, are you serious,
This is
stat?
my favorite color. So I'm wearing green.
Oh my goodness. Kill, I don't know how you slipped on that. Pause. How you didn't catch that? Stat, this
I
is
don't really talk about
ridiculous.
nothing with neither one of y'all do, to be honest with you. Y'all good.
Now I get it, killer. This is out of control, stat.
Green, money green. I like green. My favorite color. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, so I have a few more questions about this series. So basically, from what we've seen so far, who do you guys feel like has had the most disappointing performance?
You mean team or
Player.
player? To me, Kyrie. Kyrie has definitely been the most disappointing. Even though we have this game right here in the books where he's have 35, I think if he shows up with 35 the first game, this is a different series. And if he showed up with 30, this is a in the second game, this is a different series. Because sometimes even though people have good defense, better offense beats good defense. So even if you talk about Drew Holiday, you talk about Derek White, I mean, looking back on this, he's not going to be able to live with the fact that Drew Holiday outplayed him in this series or Derek White. Because you got to remember, this guy I think, from black colleges. This guy is, what's that, Division 2, Division 3, and now he's showing up in the NBA Finals. That speak volumes. I might have Derek White on my all-time D2 team. Who else was that? Scottie Pippen or somebody else? Now I don't know if it was Scottie Pippen on hand, but Dennis Rodman, somebody that was really notable, came from the same kind of school. But this makes no sense. This makes no sense. I'm sad for Kyrie.
I'm gonna go and agree with Mason, say Kyrie, but to me it's not Kyrie. But I'm gonna hold him responsible because he's one of the superstars playing in this in this finals. It's PJ Washington. He's supposed to be probably the third option on Dallas, and he's not showing up. When you have 6, 7 players showing up on Boston, give me one more. Okay, we see Kyrie is off the first 2 games. Who's going to step up? We know Luka's going to get his numbers. Kyrie is off. Is somebody from Dallas going to say, "Don't worry, I got your back, Luka"? I see Kyrie is off. Now I'm here. Who is that going to be? We've been waiting for that for 3 games, and it's been nobody. Nobody on the Dallas Mavericks has done nothing outside of Luka Doncic, and Kyrie Irving had 35 last night, which was the toughest 35 I've ever seen him get. When is somebody else going to step up for Dallas and say, "I'm a professional basketball player and playing in the NBA Finals"? Nobody has done that. We have game to game to game with Jaylen Brown being consistent, Jason Tatum being consistent, but first game, I'm giving to Porzingis. The second game, I'm giving to Drew Holiday. Last night, it's a combination of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown with Derek White with a splash of Drew Holiday with a little bit of Al Horford. When is somebody from Dallas going to say, "I can't leave my team hanging"? And the reason I'm bringing up PJ Washington, because that should be you. I don't know who was the official third option on Dallas, but from the blind eye, it looked like it should be you, and you're not producing. If we don't want to blame PJ Washington, we're going to blame all the role players on Dallas.
Yeah,
Step the fuck
Lively.
up.
Tim
Yeah,
What happened to Tim Hardaway Jr.? I didn't even see him.
He had 19
yeah. The
minutes.
thing about
Josh
that, I don't want to
Primo, too.
blame. Yeah, I don't want to blame Tim Hardaway Jr. too much because this is part of what Jason Kidd. You're not giving him minutes throughout the playoffs,
Yeah,
and then
that's
when
what
the
I'm saying.
championship
Because he
comes,
will be able to pause that offense with another shooter on the floor.
now I know as a professional, you're supposed to be ready at any given time. When your number's called, you're supposed to be ready. But if you're not playing them throughout the playoffs and you're not getting that much time and you expect him to get in rhythm in the championship, it's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy. So he's the one exception that I will give because Jason Tatum, pardon me, Jason Kidd has not been having him in a rotation. But outside of that, everybody else who's been getting minutes, it's sad to watch y'all niggas sit there and let this go down the drain. It really is. When you
Yeah,
got 7 players or 8 possibly contributing for Boston, minimum.
yeah, and they're only suiting up 8. The whole 8 that they're suiting up is showing up, and is weird because if you don't get up for the championship, when are you gonna get up for it? Pause. This is Dallas we're talking about. This is a team that has surprised us all the way through the West Coast and the West Coast of playoffs. So I don't understand how they get here and just totally evaporate. That's crazy.
Okay, and then talking about just in general, like viewership, likability, do you guys feel like this is one of the worst NBA finals we've seen in recent years? Because a lot of people are complaining about what they're seeing.
Yeah, this is a debacle. Where's PT at? PT haven't been here for the last couple of days. He was Dallas out. PT, where are you at? I'm putting a APB out for PT. If y'all see him, tell him we're looking for him. Tell him to report to the office. We have his keys.
Literally.
Yo, PT haven't been here since game 1. PT, where you at? We know you with the money team, but PT, come on, man.
Remember, he was like, "It's just game one. It's just game one."
It's just game 1, and he's vanished ever since. This is crazy. Thinking about Dallas. Dallas just totally didn't show up for the championship. I don't think they're gonna get a game. I really don't. I don't think they're gonna
Sweep?
get a game. Yeah,
Well,
not
to
even
answer
a
your
gentleman's
question,
sweep.
Stat, yes, it's disappointing to watch this series because there's no regular superstars that we're used to seeing. And not only that, it's not really a good series. When we're not used to seeing Kevin Durant, uh, Steph Curry, LeBron James, the usual suspects that's in the playoffs, that's one thing. But when you're getting a good series such as Denver and Minnesota, you're not
Yeah,
mad at not seeing those players. When you get a good series like the New York Knicks against the Philadelphia 76ers, you're not necessarily missing those type of players. When you're watching a landslide, so to speak, it gets boring. Then you start missing the superstars that's usually there. Then you start saying, listen, this should never happen. I'd rather have seen this or rather have seen that. I think this is definitely not one of the best finals to watch, but it's no fault of Boston's that it's not a fun finals to watch. Boston's been the best team this whole season throughout the season. Boston hasn't been able to be trusted in the playoffs, and we talked about that at the beginning of the season, the middle of the season, towards the end of the season, the beginning of the playoffs. What will they do in the playoffs? And right now, they're doing everything that they haven't been doing the previous playoffs. So they've been the best team all season. It was about what they were going to do when they got to this moment, and right now they're showing improvement. But as far as the question you asked, as far as watching it, this is not entertaining to watch whatsoever, especially with Kyrie in handcuffs. Not at all.
Then the last question concerning the game. So Kyrie said, when we come into game 4, we know we got to shoot out shots and we got to do it with aggression. That was a quote that he said. But what do you guys think the Mavs need if you feel there is any chance for them to at least get a game in?
Should have came out with that aggression second game. I think it's too late. The heavyset lady is in the building. It's time for her to sing. This is a far-going conclusion. This is over. This is over. Y'all got to take this up with the summer league and everything else. This is over. Because I think when you got this kind of confidence over a team, yes, they'll come out firing on all cylinders. But when you know that you've had a team down 21 without Porzingis, you just know we're going to beat you. It reminds me of the series that used to happen between L.A., the Lakers, and Sacramento. Sacramento would always play them tough, but everybody in the building knows they're going to lose. They're going to lose to L.A. No matter how great their year was, they win 60 games, they win 50 games. We know this is a foregone conclusion. And that's what I think of when I think of this series. They didn't let it get out of hand. It's too late to get serious. Like Cam said yesterday, I don't know any team that has come back from 3-0. So unless they're going to take it game by game and they think they're going to get it to game 7, they'll still run out of gas. This is going to be a Celtic championship unless the basketball gods get Tatum hurt or something like that. That's the only way they'll probably get a game.
So to answer what you asked that, yeah, I mean, what is Kyrie supposed to say? That's what he should say. You're not going to sit there as a professional player, especially as a former NBA champion and all-star. Oh, this is over. I don't think we're going to win. Doesn't look good. That's exactly what he's supposed to say. Come out with aggression, shoot our shot, still give the fans some hope, even though it's little hope to give them. But that's what you're supposed to say. You're not supposed to come down with your head, come in the press conference with your head down, moping, even though that's maybe how you feel on the inside. But as a professional and one of the leaders on the team, that's exactly what you're supposed to say. Now, is it true? That's another story. We'll wait and see. Hopefully they won't get swept, but they got to go back to Dallas after the next game. Pardon me, back to Boston after the next game. The best thing for them is to play one game at a time and see what happens, and hopefully they don't get swept. But no team has ever came back from 0-3 deficit. But as far as the question you asked, what Kyrie said, the moral story is that's the right thing to say. Is it true, or is it a fact, or is it going to equal a win? That I don't know. But as far as what he said, that was the correct thing to say.
Okay, and then moving along real quick to football. So Travis Kelce was asked about his NFL future and how much longer he thinks he has. He responded, I'm going to do it until the wheels fall off, and hopefully that doesn't happen anytime soon. When asked about the wear and tear that happens to them when they play on the field, he said, wear and tear me, baby. I'm ready for it. Put the load on me. So what do you guys think of Travis Kelce's future and his response?
Pause, Travis. That was wild. I don't even know what to say to that. Pause. He said, put the wear and tear on him?
He said, put the load on him.
Put the load on him. Wow. Go ahead, Kill. I need a moment.
Well, to me, a lot of tight ends have great personalities, pause. And first of all, Mase is right. That was out of line. Put the load on me is just, I'm not even feeding into it. But to be totally honest,
He,
and I don't know if this is historically or not, but Gronk has a great personality. Travis Kelce has a great personality. And though it isn't like they're wide receivers, they're tight ends to where they don't necessarily always have to uh, sprint all the way up the field like a wide receiver or take as many hits as a running back. They do take a lot of wear and tear because they're blocking. And if you get passes on short yards, 3, 4 niggas is trying to tackle you. Or not just that, if you're getting passes on maybe 10, 15-yard plays, they're collapsing on you. But obviously the Kansas City Chiefs believe in him. They gave him a 2-year extension, $34 million, a little bit more than that. So they believe in his capabilities in the next couple of years. Secondly, that's Patrick Mahomes' safety blanket. Tyreek Hill left, which was one of his safety blankets, and his number one target, or if he's in trouble and somebody he could trust, is nobody but Travis Kelce. Now, how long will that sustain? At least another 2 years. Will it be prosperous for the Kansas City Chiefs? That has yet to be determined, but I don't think they would have gave him the 2 years without the consent of Patrick Mahomes and knowing how he trains to get ready for the season. We got to think about not just him being prepared for the season, his passion. We seen 2 times this year where, or pardon me, last season to where uh, Kansas City Chiefs are usually so smooth and move like a well-oiled machine that certain games we seen Patrick Mahomes yelling at people. We seen Travis Kelce bump Andy Reid. We seen Andy Reid bump Travis Kelce back. Those guys are fiery and they want to win. And we'll just see, like you said, because he's getting a little bit older, but he's going to be playing till at least he's 36 years old. He's 34 now. He got a 2-year extension. And if Kansas City Chiefs believe in him, who am I to say something different until I see something different?
And then now we got to discuss Aaron Rodgers. It was reported he skipped the Jets' mandatory minicamp, and his unexcused absence subjects him to a fine. His coach also said he had something that was very important to him, and if it's important to him, it's important to us. So, one, what do you guys think of his coach's response? And then how do you guys feel about Aaron Rodgers' absence from the minicamp to begin with?
I appreciate them standing the New York Jets for standing by Aaron Rodgers, but I think this is trouble in the making because he's already an older quarterback. So it's definitely not ideal for him to not be present. They still are trying to figure out how to play with him. It's not paused that he had that many games and that many snaps before he got injured last year. So if you're giving him a break this early, this is looking like it's a decline for a person that's watching from the outside. d- um, the wide receivers and everybody else need the reps. Everybody need the camaraderie, and they need the consistency to be able to be a formidable opponent. And it doesn't look like they're gonna have that luxury. That's what I would say.
Um, yeah, as far as Aaron Rodgers is concerned, the reason I think this is a problem is, but only reason I think it's a problem is because he didn't play last year, and they need to see what's going on, where he's at. Like May said, build a rapport with some of the teammates, some camaraderie, etc. But on the flip note, that's only because he didn't play last year. On the flip side, I see Michael Strahan talk about this, and he's saying when he got older in his career, he would like to put in his contract so he would just take the fine because he says mandatory mini camps are so stupid and meaningless that it doesn't make sense for them to go there to where they're sleeping on these are millionaires that got to sleep on bunk beds for a couple days or a week or two or so on and so forth just to get ready. And that's not going to make them not millionaires and not make them miss their beds. And a lot of older professionals that have that cachet, such as Aaron Rodgers or the Michael Strahans of the world, they'll take the fine and don't go because they feel that this is pointless. I don't know. I've never played professional football. I've never played college football. I don't know how important this is. But to hear that from a Hall of Famer like Michael Strahan and him naming other players that didn't want to go as well, I just don't remember off the top of my head the other players. I think he's as knowledgeable as anybody about this situation. And I think Aaron Rodgers is also. I think if Aaron Rodgers felt this was going to damage the team's camaraderie or where they're going to be at in the middle of the season or something like that, he would have canceled what it was. But he's been around for a long time, and he has the cachet to say, I'm not going to make it, but I'm not going to miss anything else. They didn't see how much they're going to fine him. On the other hand, we have Lamar Jackson, who missed mandatory minicamp, and he got fined $750,000. So uh, I think with Lamar Jackson, this is like a scenario as well. Now he hasn't been in the league nearly as long as Aaron Rodgers, but this is a two-time league MVP, actually the reigning league MVP as we speak. And if he's not showing up, then maybe these guys know something that we don't know. And I don't think either one of these teams will try to put their team in jeopardy not to win a Super Bowl. So for them to both miss mandatory minicamp in June, I think that these guys know what they're doing. If it was a necessity, they would be there. But at the same time, I've never been in that situation before.
Yeah, echoing the same sentiment that Killer was talking about when it comes to not being a person that had played football. I totally agree with that. I'm just wondering, since he had the Achilles tear, um, this would seem like he would be more eager to play right now because we, like you said, we need to know not only what's going on with the team, we need to know how he gels with it. I know they got a first team offense. I mean, this is like a first team offense team that their offense is pretty good, but we need to know how it looks all together, especially in New York. And they're not going to give him a break for so long. But I think this is good for the backup quarterback because he gets to get a lot of reps and a lot of snaps right now while Aaron Rodgers is not present. So that's the only good I could see coming from that.
Okay. So we're going to go to break. When we return, we will discuss an interesting tweet from Joel Embiid looking like he's throwing shade at the Celtics. Don't go anywhere.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that? I mean, is there...
I was selling crack on a private jet up in the I didn't get the shot at Dipset Couture. Make sure you go online to dipsetcouture.us to order some shirts and everything else. But so I'm gonna get some cheeks after this horsepower. Jewelry and bikes, nigga. Black Benzes and white Vickers. Now I'm out here and I'm looking for more chandeliers and light fixtures. Nah, I don't like niggas. What's wrong with me? I'm a hype nigga, but this 44 turn to Michael Jordan. Now I'm looking say take flight, nigga.
Welcome back. Now let's get into our Underdog Fantasy picks of the day. So we talking WNBA. Tonight, the Aces will play the Mercury. Underdog Fantasy has Asia Wilson at 27.5 points. Do you have her higher or lower, Mase?
Gotta go higher since it's Asia.
Okay.
They'll never let me live that down.
Damn.
Lower.
Okay. Kelsey Plum is at 4.5 first quarter points. Do you have her higher or lower, Cam?
Higher.
Higher.
Okay. And Brittany Griner is at 17.5 points. Do you have her higher or lower, Mase?
I see her right around there, 16, 18. Let me see. I'm going to go higher.
Okay. Cam?
Lower.
All right. Download the Underdog Fantasy app and you can make your picks too. So Joel Embiid was throwing a little bit of shade. He tweeted, "Did the Bucks give them a championship?" No other words, no other context. This was on his personal X account, not Twitter. What do you think of that response from him and Drew Holiday's impact on the Celtics?
We knew the impact of Drew Holiday was going to be substantial. When it came to him being traded and it came to Damian Lillard coming into the Milwaukee Bucks, a lot of people thought that would be like the final straw for the Celtics, especially when they got Porzingis. He was like, what else can they add to this team? So when Joel Embiid says that they gave them a championship, I don't think Drew Holiday was the championship. I really believe that Porzingis was the championship. This is more like icing pause on the cake after you already got the cake. So I look at this as like just over the top. This is a supreme team. Every person on the team has been an all-star. That's in the starting five. Each player. I mean, whether you're talking about Al Horford, if you're talking about Porzingis, if you're talking about Jalen Brown, um, Drew Holiday, or Tatum. So I think it's impossible to lose with this team. Something freak would have to happen. Pause that come from the basketball gods. I don't see them as losing once they got Porzingis. So I kind of do not agree with that, but I understand.
Um, if anybody is Brad Stevens, we have to give the credit to, uh, not the Milwaukee Bucks. It's Brad Stevens. The the Milwaukee Bucks traded Drew Holiday to the Portland Trailblazers, thinking that good, we don't have to deal with this. He's going to be on the West Coast. So you got Damian Lillard for Drew Holiday. Damian Lillard goes to the Milwaukee Bucks, and Drew Holiday goes to Portland. Brad Stevens seen that, and everybody thought that he was bugging because remember, he got rid of Marcus Smart. Everybody like, how you getting rid of the heart of the team? That's Marcus Smart.
Yeah,
He
green
dies on
hair
the
and all
floor. He
that.
paints his hair green. How are we getting rid of that? That's first of all. Second of all, what he did was because people forget about Robert Williams III, I believe that was his name, the big man, and he
Yeah,
was nice. And then Brogdon. Brogdon was super nice. So you trade Brogdon from the Celtics with Williams to get Drew Holiday. So he trades them from Boston to Portland. Now Drew Holiday's back in the East, and he's back to where the Milwaukee Bucks have to deal with them. And that wasn't the Milwaukee Bucks' initial intentions, because a lot of people say, "Damn, they got rid of Drew Holiday," and they just think they traded him to Boston. And that wasn't the trade. The Milwaukee Bucks didn't want to deal with Drew Holiday. They said, we'll see you in the championship if need be. But Brad Stevens, being the GM now, he's seen what it took. He's seen, I guess he knows Drew Holiday's build. You know, they have scouts and people who follow you and all type of shit to make sure that they want you a part of their organization. So it isn't about the Milwaukee Bucks, answering Joel Embiid's tweet, giving the Celtics a championship. It was about the Milwaukee Bucks saying, okay, we could get Damian Lillard. We may lose a little bit on defense, but we got a perennial all-star, a guy who's clutch, who didn't have a great season, maybe because of personal reason, injury, no matter what it wasn't a great season. But in no way, shape, or form, I didn't think that the Milwaukee Bucks have anything to do with Drew Holiday ending up on the Celtics. If anybody wants to get credit, give it to Brad Stevens, because everybody thought he's out his damn mind getting rid of Smart, Williams, and Brogdon, which were all three tremendous players.
that was a really good take.
Yeah. And then just the actual tweet, like given that that came from Embiid, how do you guys feel about him specifically tweeting that?
I don't know really how to feel about it because Philadelphia and Boston has been like arch nemesis for the last couple of years, so it got to really be um really painful for him to watch Boston win a championship. It got to be because he was a part of the whole trust the process. So it seemed like they got to the process before he got to the process. So that's what I would say to Joel Embiid. How did they finish the process before y'all, Joel? That would be my question.
And Cam, your thoughts?
Well, yeah, he's frustrated. He's upset. Uh, now, all the pieces
Punch
we
in the
talked
air.
about with Boston, all the pieces we talked about moving with Boston, uh, the two that remained is Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown. And also Brad Stevens to a certain extent, even though he's not coaching, he's still uh, in the front office. So that core of the two superstars or all-stars or whatever you want to consider them basically stayed together and put some more pieces around them. Joel Embiid, he has not had a consistent counterpart since he's been there. Now, Tyrese Maxey, he's stepping up, and he's seeming like he may be that piece that they need. Now, we got to think about this. People forgot about Markelle Fultz. Whoever was the GM at the time, and no disrespect if it was my guy Elton Brand, just seeing Elton Brand at Bronny's pro day, that's my guy. But whoever was the GM, him or not, and that's my guy, so no disrespect what I'm about to say. Whoever was the GM at the time of Jason Tatum and Markelle Fultz coming into the NBA that same year and got hoodwinked out of that pick, you got to be kicking yourself. If you're still there, if I'm the owner, I'm looking at you crazy because we have to think about this. Jason Tatum could have been on the Philadelphia 76ers. Danny Ainge made some phone calls for Nagel shit, and then instead of them picking Jason Tatum, they picked Markelle Fultz, who turned out to be a bust. He's on Orlando now, a good role player, but this is a number one pick. You miss out on Jason Tatum to go in number 3. Now imagine Jason Tatum the last 4 or 5 years with Joel Embiid in Philadelphia instead of Tobias Harris. Imagine what that would have looked like. So you got to feel like shit if you were the GM for the Philadelphia 76ers, knowing you could have had Jason Tatum the last 5, 6 years, or however many years he's been in the league, and you let Danny Ainge hoodwink you out your pick and say, the Markelle Fultz nigga now, if I could get him, I would take him. You take him, he's a bust, and Jason Tatum turns out to be first team All-NBA, and now for a second year, and now on the way to most likely win the NBA championship. You got to feel like shit. Now back to Joel Embiid, you get Markelle Fultz. He goes through a mental shit to where he can't shoot. You get Ben Simmons, who played decent 3 years in a row, All-Star.
Shoulder though, killer.
It was something with his shooting that, to me, it was mental. It wasn't like, it was one of them nerve shits. One of them shits where it isn't like he fell or anything else. One of them shits that Ben Simmons got. Yo, my nerve is hurting me.
Undiagnosed shoulder injury.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
And then had the nerve
undiagnosed. Yeah, that shit. When you start saying, nah, my nerves, you get nervous, nigga. That's what's going on, nigga. Your nerves is bad. That's what's happening, nigga. To where it's altering his shot, he wasn't thinking right, etc. Now, fast forward. You get Ben Simmons for 3 years, who played very, very good. He was a 3-time All-Star 3 years in a row, and then he just goes into a blank to where he's scared to shoot, and that fucks that up. So then now Ben Simmons is coming to practice. What? You said something?
No, you can continue.
Oh, yeah, Ben Simmons gets there. Now he's turning into a nigga that don't want to play and turn into a fashion model coming to practice with his phone in the pocket. Cool, that don't work out. Now you got Doc Rivers coming in the coach, thinking that you got the superior coach that's going to get you there. That doesn't work out. Then you bring in James Harden, you have a sensational year. Joel Embiid wins MVP. James Harden gets the assist leader, but that doesn't happen. Now James Harden wants out of Philadelphia. Now Tyrese Maxey is the second go-to. So he has no continuity except for maybe them 3 years that Ben Simmons played good for his career. Now, I know it's the process and all that, but that's what you get for saying the process. Just be like, yo, it ain't my fault. Niggas ain't bringing me in with the right places. Because now, when you say the process, we thinking you're leading the process, and the process isn't getting done to where I'm going to throw you an outlet right now. You have no real continuity. They switch coaches up on you, switch players. Players want to be there. Players don't want to be there. Players coming to undiagnosed shoulder problems. Players want to get traded. Players want to wear Balenciaga and be models. Tyrese Maxey is the most stable thing you had so far. And this year in the playoffs, you were hurt, so you can't get it done. So, yes, it's frustrating. So that's why he's making statements like this. I can't get mad at him for making a statement. But at the end of the day, don't get mad because teams are making the right decisions and the right maneuvers to get their team in the best position to win a championship. Sound like you're hating.
And then just to add more to your point, so like you said with Ben Simmons having the nerve impingement, so it is an impingement through his blood vessels, arteries, and veins just on his shoulder. So literally, like you said, same type of thing, but instead of back, which I'm pretty sure it was for Ben Simmons, for him it was his shoulder. So I don't know exactly what that is, but yeah, it's been messing up their game a lot. And then Mace, did you have a question before we move on to the
Yeah, I was trying to look for the Markel Fultz, his shoulder injury and where it really came from. At one point I thought it was the team, but online it seemed like they're saying that he was in some kind of accident that he really didn't talk about.
next?
But it was motorcycle or something like that, and it messed that shoulder up. And I'm thinking like he gets knocked out of that spot, and then they make Ben Simmons the point guard. So it seemed like something going on with the Celtics that I mean not the Celtics, but the Sixers that just have cursed the franchise, because everybody ends up hurt with some medical thing that's going on. Oh, I wonder if they stepped on a leprechaun too. Yeah, whatever they did is not working.
The biggest injury they got is their fucking brain injury. Even picking Markel Fultz over Jason Tatum and letting Danny Ainge talk them out that pick. How do you let another GM from another team that's a rivalry in the Eastern Conference trick you out a pick? Google that.
Yeah.
How do they let nigga trick you out of a pick, nigga? Jason Tatum could have been on the Sixers the last 6 years. Jason Tatum went third.
Yeah.
Philadelphia had the number 1 pick. Boston had the number 3 pick. You could have had Jason Tatum, bro.
They didn't pick Tatum because they thought that Ben Simmons was gonna be their 3. And remember, he came back and got Rookie of the Year when he was already a rookie. But they was thinking we already got a 3, so that's probably what they was thinking. They wasn't thinking
Yeah,
to
well,
put Ben at the
you know
4.
what I didn't work out at Murder? You know what I didn't work out is when the Portland Trailblazers didn't pick Michael Jordan because they thought they had a 2 with Clyde Drexler. So
Oh no,
see
I
how that worked
definitely
out for
agree. But I'm saying I know what they was thinking. They was like, "Yo, we already got our 3. If we get a 2 right now, we'd be straight." And
and
it backfired.
that's what the Portland Trailblazers do. We got a 2. We got a 2. We got Clyde. We got a 2. Sometimes you just gonna need more than 1 2. That's just
Yeah, he
that.
put Clyde at the
or,
1.
or 3. Yeah, something.
Okay, and then Mike Tyson and Jake Paul's fight has been changed to November 15th. What do you guys think of the date change? And then how do you guys feel about the fight at this point? Do you feel like this is a fight that should still be happening?
No, I'm no longer watching it. I'm telling you right now, I'm no longer watching it. It would have been dope for the summer, but I can't wait to November for Jake and Mike. That's a summer fight. That's a fight in Vegas or a fight in Miami. It's not a Thanksgiving fight.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way Mace feels, but then when it gets close to the fight, I know I watch it. I'll pop that shit in June. Then when it's time for the fight to come on, I know I'm gonna watch it. I feel like that too, but I know like niggas I'm like, the fight this weekend, nigga, and then it's gonna turn into a fight party, niggas coming through, strippers. I already know. We always do this with Mike. We did this with Mike Roy Jones. I said, I don't care about seeing it. The next thing I know, it's a party in my motherfucking house. So I'll say I don't care about it, but then when it gets close to the fight, I'll definitely watch it. I'm a little disappointed that it isn't happening in the summer, but I'd rather Mike be in good health than to get out there and try and risk it. Mike said he's in 80%. He doesn't need to be in 100% shape to fight Jake Paul, but I'm glad his wife or his handlers or whoever's working with him have his best health reasons involved, so to speak. If I'm using the right words, whatever it is, protecting his best interests. Because Mike said he don't give a fuck. He'll fight him in July. He don't need to be 100%. But I think at this
That's the
age he
mic I
should be
like. Pause.
100%.
That's the mic I was looking forward to. But in November he's gonna be older. I mean, what you don't think that plays a part?
Well, think about it, he's gonna be older tomorrow, Mase. The day after that, he's gonna be older than tomorrow. Not like it's in 2 years.
Hey.
We getting older every day, man.
Okay.
The point to me. no other
Months
comment?
matter.
Okay.
Months matter when you get older like this. Just
Yeah, about a
yesterday,
day.
it was all good just a week ago. All right, I'll see you in November. Remember what I told you?
Dang, Cam, like.
Yeah, that's
I'm
a
dead.
whole calendar year, man. A man might turn a older age. But okay, we're gonna see.
Let's get to our last topic. So, NBA legend Jerry West passed away yesterday at the age of 86. So, first of all, we give our condolences to his family and friends and salute him for all he has done for the game. But what was you guys' thoughts on the news?
Jerry West, this is Mr. Clutch. This is the logo. This is the logo. This is what's that? Virginia's greatest basketball player that played in the university. What's that of? West Virginia. When I think of Jerry West, he's done such a phenomenal job with the Lakers, with the Clippers, with the even turning the Memphis Grizzlies around. It just seemed like everywhere he went, he won. And just was a phenomenal basketball brain. You know what I'm saying? Not just a player, a brain. When we talk about guys like Danny Ainge, like Killer was just talking about, Brad Stevens, I think he's at the top of the mountain for all of those type of guys. I think he's the guy that everybody looks to when you start to name great coaches or people who worked in the front office and did phenomenal jobs. I mean, I think about even the last name West, you know what I'm saying?
Like Jerry West, more outstanding. I didn't really get a chance to see him play. I'm a little too young to see him play, but everybody knows that that's really him on the logo for the NBA. One of the few people that's got an NBA Finals MVP and not win the championship the year that he got the MVP in the finals. One-time Finals champion, 14-time All-Star. His accolades go on and on and on when it comes to playing basketball. Actually, to me, and watching the Lakers documentary, not just the series winning time, and also watching a real documentary with Jeannie Buss and the Buss Kids and Magic Johnson and all the other people in there. The GM position was actually created because of Jerry West. He didn't want to coach the Lakers when they wanted him to coach the Lakers, Jerry Buss, but he wanted to be a part of the team. And with him being a part of the team without coaching, to me, that's where that spot originally came from. The original GM, Jerry West. Now, if it's one before him, I have no idea. But it's actually a speech that you could Google on YouTube to where Jerry Buss, the owner of the Lakers, is making a speech saying how Pat Riley's going to be the offensive coach, Jerry West going to be defensive coach, and Jerry West got up at the press conference and said, "No, I'm not coaching at all. This is Pat Riley's team." And to me, that's where the GM job was made because of him, and he was making key trades back then. Mase brought it up. Outstanding GM with the Lakers. Moved in, helped out with the Clippers, the Memphis Grizzlies. But one thing a lot of people don't know, when Golden State started getting together as well, he was a consultant for the Golden State Warriors. He didn't have an official position as GM, but he was consulting them. How do I know that? Because I sat on the flight right next to Jerry West, and we talked about it from LA to New York, and he was telling me all the things that he did behind the scenes that wasn't necessarily notable with a job. Matter of fact, you know what, Nick? Matter of fact, Nick.
Cap.
Matter of fact,
Killer, Cap.
Matter of fact,
I never thought I would say that about you, Killer. Cap, nigga, I'm calling
about what?
Cap.
On what?
He's
murder?
not here to say he was sitting next to you, Cam. I'm not going.
Murder.
You was sitting
Murder.
next
But
to
I got a
Jerry
lot.
West.
Murder. Who this? Who is this? Who's that?
That's Photoshop.
That's
I ain't gotta
fire.
lie.
That's fire.
I ain't gotta lie, murder. I ain't gotta lie, murder.
Okay.
Murder.
Killer.
I ain't gotta lie, murder. I ain't gotta lie,
That's
murder.
great
If I
Photoshop,
bring,
though. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's
I
great.
don't even know how to Photoshop, murder. I don't even know how to Photoshop. Now, jealousy don't get you nowhere, man. Your label mate told you that, my niggas ain't nothing to be jealous about. If I sat next to me and Jerry was sitting next to each other. Me and Jerry was sitting next to each other. We sat next to each other for 5 hours from LA to New York. We had a great conversation. He respected my basketball mind. You know what I'm saying? And we talked. So it ain't nothing to be, if you ain't bump into him, you ain't bump into him, Sometimes great people just happen to bump into other great people and they have great conversations. You didn't know he was a consultant for Golden State. He told me on the flight. I ain't gotta make this up. This is in the airport, nigga. Anyway, I'm happy that I'm so happy. So let me ask you something. Out of all the people in the world, I'm photoshopping Jerry West. Like that's the go-to. Let me Photoshop Jerry West out of everybody in the world. That's crazy. I'm glad that the world gets to see the jealousy.
The jealousy.
Yo, bro. It's obvious.
I just didn't know that. It sounded like that before you showed the picture. I stand corrected.
It's all good. Listen, because I'm spitting facts and you talking about Kanye West and Jerry West, if that was your take, that's your take. My take comes from somewhere different, from expertise. Your word. One thing being an expert is another thing having expertise. That's two different things. So anyway, man.
When people die, folks always bring up the wildest stories. So it was just for the show, but I wouldn't think you would lie. But when niggas die, people be like, yo, I got this ring from Tupac. It's like, come on, my nigga. You got.
I ain't never been one of them niggas, murder. Don't put that on my jacket like I've been one of them niggas. I know a bunch of niggas who died. I ain't never been one of them niggas ever in my life.
It was just for the show. It was a good take.
But yeah. Well, listen, man. The whole thing about it is, Jerry, I'm going to post this picture tomorrow, put on my Instagram, because Mase ate up my time on the credit that I was trying to give you, that I was trying to celebrate your life and your legacy and all the things that you did and the stuff that you told me that people may not have talked about. I shared on my story because Mase ate up your time talking about, I'm calling Cap, all this. Listen, man, it was like called for. R.I.P. Jerry West, man. R.I.P. Jerry West.
Stat went like this too. When you said that, Stat went like this.
I did not do that. I did not do that. I've been doing that. I didn't do it for this time.
Tom talking about, I'm calling Cap, all this. Listen, man, it was like called for. R.I.P. Jerry West, man. R.I.P. Jerry West.
Stat went like this too. When you said that, Stat went like this.
I did not do that. I did not do that. I've been doing that. I didn't do it for this time. Okay, so before we go,
that's kind of good. That kind of pushed me out on the ledge. I'm not gonna lie. She went.
Listen, Stat never seen Michael Jordan play. We can't. The whole thing about, I don't even believe she did that. But at the end of the day, you're just trying to get an ally because you didn't believe I was running around with Jerry West for a few hours. It's all good, man. I ain't tripping.
It's all good. I believe you, killer. I believe you.
Well, there you have it. Again, rest in peace to Jerry West. But that is all the time that we have for today. Thanks for watching. And as always, it is what it is.
what you want, nigga. Everything, nigga, super size. 2 Big Macs, like when they doing them 2 for $5.